K0DWC on frequency.
K0DWC WA7YBS. I'll see if I can get in here and be number one. You copy, Chuck?
Boy, do I ever. You sound fabulous. Huge signal, fantastic audio, and you're on the pole this morning there, bud.
Okay, well, I seem to be 400 cycles high. Well, we'll just see what happens there. I'm just doing some little tweaking here. Everything looks okay. And, yeah, you're strong too. I hear some, carriers out there, so maybe somebody else wants to also get in here early. So, yeah. K0DWC WA7YBS.
Okay, Henry. Yeah, you're sounding really good this morning. Like I said, great signal and great audio. I take it you're on the Svoboda 1625 rig?
Yeah, this is the AM100. That was the designation that John gave this little transmitter. Because it was 100 watts input power, about 70 watts output power with the 1625s parallel. And it's got AM100 up on next to the meter, and then at the bottom center of the panel it says W6MIT 97. Just the year he built it. And then, of course, we're running the Svoboda linear amplifier, which also has W6MIT 95 on the front panel. He never gave a designation for the linear amp. So, the big rig is, I think that's 98400 or something like that. And so he was a real pro. Giving actual model numbers to his homebrew equipment. K0DWC WA7YBS.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I've seen all of his stuff up real close, and it's beautifully built stuff. It looks like it could have come from Collins or somebody. It's just really pristine. Very, very well put together. And I'm just glad you got it restored, and it's safe and sound, and you can share it with everybody. So, now let me see here, but let's see if there's anybody else out there. We got WA7YBS in the number one spot for the Vintage Military Radio Net. I'm taking early check-ins here. We'll start the net here in a few minutes. Is there anybody else who'd like to check in now? Be number two. You can come now. Well, good morning, Bill. You're 100% copy right now. I've got you in the two spot, N6 Bravo Charlie Tango. Excuse me. Okay, number 3 is open. If anyone would like to check in, be an early check-in for Vintage Military Radio Net, you're welcome to come now.
W6 SSP.
Well, good morning, Steve. Had a nice signal in here this morning. Sounding really good. You probably in the 32V1. are sounding good and clear. How you doing this morning?
Oh, pretty good, Chuck. You know, it's funny. I've been listening for 20 minutes or so, and you were at or below the noise level, and even Henry was just at about the noise level. And just the last couple of minutes, you both came way up. So propagation is strange today.
Well, yeah. Well, maybe it's at least going in our favor, I guess. Okay, Steve, I've got you in the free spot, sir. W6SSP in the free spot. Number 4 is open for early check-in. If you'd like to check in, come now.
KV0W, South Lake Tahoe. KV0W, South Lake Tahoe.
Good morning, Frank. You got a big signal in here in Mason Valley this morning. You sound great, and no problem. You must be running that big Viking transmitter again. How you this morning, Frank?
Yeah, good morning. There's a lot of QSB on the frequency. There's a shrill hum that's coming on when you transmit, and it's difficult understanding you. Maybe it's my receiver. I don't know, but things are good. Running the Johnson 500 here, and I wanted to get up and get in for at least one transmission on the military net this morning. So I'll stand by in position 4. Back to you.
Okay, Frank, KV0W in the number 4 spot. Glad you could join us this morning, Frank. Is there a number 5 out there? We'll get the net started here in just a second. I want to be a real quick early check-in. Vintage Military Radio Net. You can come now. Okay, well, I'll pick up any stragglers there at the end of the first round here. Well, good morning, guys, and this is Chuck, K0DWC, and I'll be next control this morning. And we're running the ART-13, the R45 on receiver, and we're running approximately 200 watts plus or minus. Talking on a amplified D104 microphone. So that's our rundown here this morning, and let me give you the rundown here. In the number 1 spot is Henry. Congratulations, Henry, in the number 1 spot this morning. In the 2 spot is Bill, 26, Bravo Charlie Tango. In the 3 spot is Steve, W6SSP. In the 4 spot is Frank, KV0W. One last try for number 5. If you want to check in. Okay. Maybe we'll pick up this right here. Alrighty, well, this is Vintage Military Radio Net, and we're on 3.974 megacycles. Military Radio Net is a roundtable for internet that provides an opportunity for licensing to operate their business military radio here on the air. Military radio is encouraged, doesn't matter the requirement. Seconds will be given a number that can be used and at the end of the roundtable session. So, with that, we will go up to the top to my very, very close neighbor, across Route 50, 7 YBS. Go ahead and take it, Henry.
Okay. K0DWC WA7 YBS. All right. And I'm going to increase the gain a little bit. I'm watching the scope to see what's going on. Everything looks okay. So, but I got to have a better grip on the old grip bar of the D104. Well, good morning to all. To Bill, to Steve, who has a very powerful signal in here, and to Frank. Both Frank and Steve have really, really strong signals. But of course, propagation, is changing. There is some QSB, but it's not affecting copy at all. It's just there. You notice it, but it's not real bad. And so anyway, let's see, it was 57 degrees this morning here in Dayton Valley. And so skies. Hopefully it'll stay dry. And after all of that lightning and thunder that we had earlier in the week, we had a little bit of a flood from a downpour that happened up in Virginia City. Came across the valley and drained right past our property in the river. Of course, it came over a little bit, not bad, but you just never know when you're going to get a little bit of water. So summer, winter, it happens all the time. So anyway, that's that. I'm on the 1625 rig, the W6MIT John Swoboda homebrew, built in 1997. 1625 in parallel, pair of them for the final, and modulated by a pair of 1625s in push-pull. And the output of that is going through a 6 dB attenuator and then inputting to a W6MIT built in 1995 linear amplifier that uses a Y826 tube, which is an experimental or maybe an industrial type version of the 3-500Z, 2000 volts on the plate, and about 140 watts output on AM, 100% duty cycle. Antenna is a collinear array, has 2 halfways in phase, fed with open feed line, 108 feet of feed line, and well, that's about the rundown of the station. So let's turn it over to Bill, see how things are going in Half Moon Bay, N6BCT, WA7, YBS.
CW, and I think I've mentioned I'm playing with the K0DWC. I've been for a few weeks now. And the question I have for you is, there's one modifier. I see that when the tube gets so hot, it's going to slow the hot glass. tubes aren't dusty or anything else, but they get so darn hot that it just has a hot smell to it. I've never run across that before in any other radio, and I operated at 115 volts AC input, and all the voltages seem to be normal, works normally. It just runs really hot. I wonder if yours does as well. Anyway, over to Frank, K0DWC SSP.
Okay, W6SST, KB0W in South Lake Tahoe. Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you for running the net check. Appreciate it. Good morning, Henry. Good morning, Bill. I could not read Bill at all. Zero copy from Half Moon Bay, and it's just something the way my antenna is directed. But everybody else is a full copy, and good morning to everybody. And Steve, to answer your question, yeah, they all run real hot because there's 3 of those sweep tubes in there with giant cathodes, and that's what gives them their power output. They do run hot. I have an old, a large 6-inch Radio Shack fan that I just lay on top of the final cage and run that through a reduction transformer, and that keeps the doghouse cool. And I don't know if it makes the tubes last any longer, but it makes me feel better, if anything. Full power out, close to 170 watts with new tubes, and they last a long time. I think the set that I have in there now is probably several years old, and they still run around 140, 150 watts output. So that's the story up here. I'm running the Johnson 500, and we're putting out about 260, 65 watts into a dipole antenna that's up at about 65 feet for the most part. Unfortunately, it's near a power line, and I get to listen to the power line as well as the beautiful AM signals. So anyways, good morning to the net, and it's nice to be on and hear the Johnson running this morning. Back up to you, Chuck, W0DWC KB0W.
Okay, Frank. Yeah, you continue to have a big signal in Mason Valley. Not Mason Valley, Gates Valley. This morning. Really nice. Everybody sounds good. Henry's got a big signal. Steve's got a nice signal in here. And Bill is 100% copy. Like Henry said, there's just a tiny smidgen of QSB, but it's negligibly exempt. No problem hearing anybody. So good first round there. That's good. Okay, well, is there anybody that would like to be number 5 and check in on the tail end of the first round for the Venus Military Radio? Can come now.
Good morning from Reno, W7MS.
Hi, Mikey. W7MS. Boy, you're down in power or something there. You were 100% copy, but I just could barely hear you. W7MS, go ahead. Go ahead and make a transmission there. Send it back up to me. K0DWC.
Well, thank you, Chuck, and I'm not surprised on the reception report. Also noticed USB on your cellular also. Yeah, of course, W7MS, good morning to one and all. Good reception from all, it's unintelligible, but that's the way that is. But this morning running the wireless set 19 with the number 19 Canadian amplifier, so about 50, 60 watts of carrier, maybe only about 200 watts peak envelope power with 100% modulation. in the menu of definitions, that's what they considered a high power amplifier, considering it's about 3 watts of modulation. So back to you, Chuck. K0DWC W7MS.
Okay, Mike. Yeah, I figured you might have been running something different, but yeah, thanks for running the wireless set 19. That's you don't get to hear them very often, but appreciate you putting that on this morning. You're 100% copy. It's just that you're not as loud as I'm used to hearing you. That's all. But you're sounding good, Mike. We're good. Okay, number 6 out there. That's being the tail end of the first round. Military radio. That'll be coming up. Okay, nothing heard. So, we'll go back up to the top here. Real quick, put that too hot again. As much stuff as I've got to do out there. Couldn't be out there very long, so maybe another day. We'll go ahead and go back up to the top. Round number 2 is WA7YDS. Make it K0DWC.
Okay, Chuck. Stand by. And to think I cleared my throat before I hit the push to talk. Oh well. Anyway, very good on all. Morning to Mike. That wireless set 19 sounds good. And I got questions. Told me when it comes around to the turn, is that the amp that has the 813 in it as the output tube? And that is conservatively run. The 813 and getting 50 watts output. But that's the British. Speaking of British, I forgot to mention the receiver. It's higher. And that's the RA17C12. And of course these, when we were the C versions of the RA17, we got a C following the 17. That means the receiver was built for North America or for NATO. And it'll have all USA-style tubes, UNF threads on all the hardware, and just generally making the receiver into something that's fairly compatible in the United States military or NATO. And of course, when the C12, the RA-17C12 was used by the United States military, it was given the designation URR501. And so, anyway, that's what we're running. And I can tell that this one needs an alignment a little bit. It's not bad, but I just finished aligning another Raycal RA-17, and I can tell, once you do an alignment on one, then you start using another one, or you use another one, and you start seeing all sorts of things you never saw before. And so anyway, it's all minor stuff because this receiver works fine, but two VFOs really need to be trimmed a little bit, be a little more accurate in the readouts. So anyway, that's the rundown on the rest of the gear, And so anyway, yeah, on that alignment on the Mark II Raycal, the RA-17C, that's a 1959 receiver, very early in the series. And this one that I'm listening on, the C12, is a 1960 version, only a year later, and they were already up to the 12th version of the C. So anyway, there's a little bit of difference, but not a whole lot. Some, but very, very minor stuff. And so anyway, that's the rundown on Raycal. And let's see, I have an announcement to make. It might only really affect Mike, Chuck and Carla. Chuck and Carla already know. That is our old buddy. They're W7IMD, Bob Kirk, passed away about 2 weeks ago, July 16, became a SK. So W7IMD is no more. And of course we all probably saw him at Brad's swap meet here just 2 months ago. And just, walking around and seemed to be okay, but 87, he was 87. So anyway, that's the announcement. And with that, I'll turn it over to Bill, N6, BCT, WA7, YBS.
Bill. Let's see. SWR is all over the map today. I think one end of the antenna is flopping around on the roof. I'll look at that later. Anyway, good enough for now. Forgot to mention, this is Steve, W6SSP, just north of Santa Rosa, running the Collins 32V1 transmitter, 85 watts out, and matching 75A1 receiver. For me, these are holy grail radios. I looked for many, many years before finally finding them. And let's see, propagation is all over the map here. Usually Henry and Mike are the strongest. Today they're the weakest. The strongest was Frank, KB0W. And Frank, thank you very much for your comments about the TR4CW. Yeah, I guess I'm worrying about nothing, man. It's just the way these things are. I'm not hanging a muffin fan on the back of mine and say it's done. Works really well. Very, very happy with it. And Henry, I wanted to mention that your 1625 rig sounds fantastic. I've heard you over the years. I've heard you on the air with many radios, many transmitters. And I would say the 1625 rig has the best clarity, first audio, including the big rig, the MIT big rig. So anyway, comment on that. I wanted to mention something to folks here that might be interesting. I talked to a fellow earlier in the week that has a KWS1 and 75A4 for sale. I've got pictures of them. They both look very, very clean, very nice condition. They want to for repair, and they're located in Fort Bragg, which is about 2 hours north of San Francisco. I've been following these for a while. I have a couple KWS ones myself with the 75A4s. I've been following these for a number of years, and it seems to be a pretty darn good deal. About the best I've seen in quite a while for rigs that are nice condition. So if anyone's interested, I have the information, I have pictures, and I'll pass it on to you. Just drop me an email. I'm good on QRZ, and we'll go from there. Let you guys do it. So I think that's about it for me. I haven't really been doing much with radio this week. Still working on the house, being a roofer, and doing a lot of woodwork. Hopefully wrap that up in the next 2 or 3 days and be done with it. So, and Mike, by the way, you're right at the noise level. I understand you're using so you're way down there compared to what you usually are. So we'll send it over to Clay. KB0WC Chuck.
Did Steve turn it over to me?
Yeah, Frank. Yeah, go ahead and take it. KB0W.
Okay, well, here we go. Yeah, the band seems to have completely faded out, and I can't really copy anybody. So I'm going to make this my last transmission if anybody can hear me. I want to just say good morning to Mike. Good to hear you, and I hope everything's going well for you down there. Now that you have that big, beautiful beam up. So many thanks to everybody. Thank you very much, Chuck, for running the net, and hopefully the propagation will be better for me up here next week. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Mike. W7MS in Reno, KB0W in South Lake Tahoe, signing off and listening.
Well, thank you, Frank. KB0W, W7MS, and kind of preface this with apologies for the low power this morning, but had the itch to try this on the air. It's probably logically a little bit more appropriate in the winter months for propagation, but you know how it goes. When you've got a new itch, you've got to scratch. So again, W7MS. Thanks, Chuck, for the acknowledgement. And good on Steve on trying to find a new home for a good price on an S1 and A4 combination. So that's nice of him to distribute that information. And Henry, well, it's kind of never a shock these days, but thanks for the update on Bob Kirk and his current situation. But yeah, I had a nice conversation with him at Brad's and asked him why he wasn't selling. And he said it's an audio. It's moving around quite well. So thanks for the update. Another character in the character palette of amateur radio here in northern Nevada is now a silent key. But all I can comment is, darn was he out of my price range whenever he was selling. It was out there. It was always good conversation. Sometimes it's good conversation. It's hard to break away from it. It wasn't talk, but that's one point. Appreciate that. Yeah, the Canadian number 19 amplifier is an interesting device. It'll run about 100 watts on CW Class C. But it is a controlled carrier. It has a 12H6 diode detector, a 6J5 audio amplifier to amplify the modulated audio, and that drives a 6N7 regulator switch circuit that raises the bias voltage when it senses voice transmission to run it into Class D mode, which basically chops the power in half, so it's about 50 watts a carrier. But I know I'm at least 100% modulation and maybe even exceeding that, which at least OnePlus generally uses WS19 here. Extremely anemic on modulation, and will receive no 5-star awards for audio quality, but the modulation market for some of the deficits. And very conservatively rated amplifiers that short antenna, low end scenario. And also, I think you can probably listen to this thing all day long and not for a couple of days. There's some damage. So that's the setup. But some irony there when you're running 2,000 volts on the plate. Everything is Uber amplifier, but yeah, you're talking significant dB increase over the barefoot WS19, but for a linear amplifier or a Class BC amplifier, you would expect much more. But that's their parameters. Maybe it also would govern what they consider reliable transmission in miles. 3 miles on the WS19, if you're up to 50. Theoretically a reliable two-way communication. So that's the setup here. So Chuck, back to you, and again, good morning to everybody on frequency. K0DWC W7NI.
Okay, Mike. Yeah, I'll tell you what, even with a little bit of QSB, you're cutting right through that. You're still 100% copy even with the QSB, Mike. That wireless system really doing a good job for you. Congratulations on that, especially during summertime conditions. You know, being able to run that, that's really cool, you know. So, you picked a good set to run today, Mike. Alrighty, well, 7-3s to Steve and 7-3s to Frank, and you guys, if you're still listening, you all take care, and hopefully we'll talk to you guys next weekend. Maybe propagation will be a little bit better for Frank up there at South Shore. So anyway, yeah, we were sorry to hear about Bob Kirk. Henry told us, and we went to his house one time, and Carl and I and Sharon and Henry, I can't exactly remember, I think we were looking for antenna parts or something. And he's a nice fella, you know, and I did see him at Brad's there. I didn't speak to him, but I saw him there, and was kind of, in a way, I was really surprised that he had passed away, but I knew how old he was, so in a way it kind of wasn't really a surprise, so, you know, being 87 or so. But anyway, that's hot, so I don't see. Oh well, that's a shame. But anyway, and I think Henry, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think he said he's already off at QR0. If I'm not mistaken. I think that's what you said yesterday. Anyway, well, so far everybody's still coming in with no problems. A little bit of QSB, but negligible. We'll go ahead and let me see if there's anybody else who wants to check in real quick when we down on the 7-3 rounds. There's a number 6 out there. Wants to check in the Vintage Military Radio Net. You can come now. Hear anything? Anybody hear anything? Okay. Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and start the 7-3 round. And we'll go back up to the top of Henry, WA7YDF, and K0DWC.
Okay, K0DWC WA7YBS, all right. Okay, well, thanks for the compliments on the audio of the 1625 rig. It's interesting, back when John built this in 1997, he had a clipper circuit in it, and quite an elaborate sort of control, I guess you would say, on the in the audio, and I guess he ran it that way for a couple years probably. So it was about 2000 or so that he went in, and it might have been later than that. Now that I think about it, I think it was around 2009. He went in and he stripped out all that stuff and built a very simple speech amplifier, and there's nothing really different. Nothing really particularly unusual in the speech amp that he designed and installed in the 1625 rig, but it is an afterthought. His original intent in 97 was to have a clipper in the circuit to control the peaks, the audio peaks, but that's not there anymore. All that was stripped out and then it was rebuilt. And so anyway, that's kind of a little backstory there on the 1625 rig. Built in 1997, revamped in around around 2009 or so. And then I changed it. I changed the cooling fan arrangement on it because I don't know where John got one of the fans, but it was about the noisiest one you could find. And it's a push-pull arrangement with 2 fans on the back of the 1625 rig. And I really didn't think it was push-pulling the air very well. And so I modified, installed a new fan to replace the noisy one, and then revamped how the cooling system went on this rig. And so now it's very quiet, yet there's a lot of air going through it. It never gets warm, never. And very good mic on the amplifier there. You could, those guys probably would, out in the field, would load up a fence or, a piece of wire that they found out in the field and try to make it work as an antenna. And the 8 or 10 conservatively run would handle that. And, luckily, I guess they didn't have any fuses in there. Otherwise, it might blow a fuse. But anyway, that's pretty funny. But anyway, good story on the wireless Set 19 amp. With that, we'll say 73. Everybody have a good week coming up. And I'll be net control. I think I'll be net control next week. So I'll be running the MIT Big Rig. And so with that, 73, we'll turn it over to Bill, N6BCT, WA7, YBS.
Does anybody hear Bill?
I don't hear him.
And we turned it over to you.
Steve, did Bill turn that over to you?
No, I was just letting Bill know that Henry turned it over to him.
Oh, okay. Bill, N6 Bravo Charlie Tango, you're on frequency.
Yeah, we're here, you, Bill. Go ahead. N6BCT, WC please. We'll hear you on next week. And with the even squirrelier than it was earlier, so to keep it brief. Anyway, on audio transmitters is the biggest difference you can make in audio quality as far as audio out of a D104 is by changing the grid to the first stage. They're usually talking to K at 1 meg. If you go to 2.2 meg or even higher than that, it seems to make a big difference in the audio quality. The 1625 rig has a very high volume resistor there as compared to others. I know that's what I've done to this transmitter. I've forgotten. Too many years have passed. Anyway, sorry to hear about the W7IMD, intermodulation distortion, crossing the road. Lost never met the fellow, but 47 sounds like it. So guys, I'll say 73, Bill, thank you, son, for some over the mic. Wireless set 19. W7MS, W6SSP, 73 guys.
Okay, well, thanks, Steve. And good conversation this morning. Some daunting conditions, and I'm definitely contributing to the daunting reception for folks out there, but appreciate the patience and the good words. And, of course, all the accolades to Henry's audio there on the John Svoboda rig. Absolutely. And fine, Steve, on the comments on termination resistance for a crystal microphone. Also, the other aspect that I'll bring up is the shunt capacitance of the microphone cable to the radio, which is also a critical factor for a very high impedance microphone and a high impedance termination. That shunt capacitance can really roll off the high frequency range, and generally the cable used on D104s is very lacking in that area, but that's another conversation. Maybe save that for the enhanced audio sideband SFC channel. But 7-3's from Reno. Thanks, Chuck, for running the show. And keep an eye on those thunderheads, Henry. But yeah, there was some news coming out of your part of the country here via the interweb, and I'm glad everybody's okay. And 6 Mile Canyon is back open. So K0DWC W7MS 7-3 Reno.
Okay, Mike, W7MS K0DWC. Well, thanks again for running the wireless set 19. That was a real treat. You don't hear those very often, but when you do, you appreciate it. So great job there. Even the QSB picked up just a little bit more, and you were still cutting through it. So never lost contact with our 100% copy all the way through. So congratulations on that in the summertime. Oh, all right, guys. Well, good night this morning. Like Mike said, a lot of good conversation, and everybody sounded great. And everybody have a good day today. Enjoy the weather. Don't get too overheated. So, Mikey, watch out in the garden. So, Henry, be careful on the tractor if you go out there today. Wear you a big sun hat. All right, guys. Well, I want to go ahead and shut the net down. This is K0DWC. I'll be securing the Vintage Military Radio Net for today. And I want to thank everybody for their participation and invite everybody back next Saturday morning. So with that, we'll turn the frequency back over to regular end of the use. Take care, guys. We'll see you next weekend, and have a good week ahead. So this is K0DWC, Dayton Valley, signing off. 7-3.